Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto Podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform that I've been using since 2017. You can buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies as well as precious metals and equities. So I can vouch for this platform, being a user for years. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, we got some massive news around Amazon and NFTs and a possible token issuance by Amazon. Now, my OG listeners and subscribers, you know I've been talking about a Prime coin for years, going back to 2018, that these companies can create their own tokens, and it could be part of a rewards and a system where they would gain additional revenue valuation as a company and further retain customers. And, Amazon already has a system, which is Prime, Amazon Prime. They can create a Prime token, right? And that can unlock tons more features and usability and so forth. So here's the report by Blockworks. Amazon NFTs will be tied to real-world assets, token possible. Amazon Marketplace will tie digital ownership to physical goods delivered to customers' doors. This is big, guys. If you have a Amazon jumping into this industry and tokenizing, using crypto and the blockchain and NFTs, that's huge. But I think we know by now, this is where every company is going to go, right? They're going to use crypto and blockchain in one fashion or the other because this is the future. This is the next layer on top of the internet. And everything is done on the internet now, right? Data, commerce, and so on and so forth, communication. And it's only a matter of time before all these companies capitulate and start building out their features and their products and services. Amazon is laying the groundwork to give its customers the ability to purchase NFTs tied to real-world assets that are delivered to their doorstep, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. The move is a significant upgrade from the e-commerce giant's earlier steps in developing its NFT platform, a move previously reported by Blockworks. And the company is planning to notify every Prime or Amazon Prime customer, at least in the US, of its digital collectibles initiative once it goes live, an additional 2 sources said. Amazon shoppers, for instance, would be able to purchase a fashion-oriented NFT tied to a pair of jeans and pay with a credit card, sources said, just as they would with any other Amazon purchase. The timing of the massive enterprise's launch still appears to be in flux, although the big whale today reported a date of April 24th. Interesting. And that date, that period of April through May and June coincides with Bitcoin's potential retracement. Maybe it's about 50K, altcoins popping off. Not a guarantee, but we've been tracking these things on the chart, right, guys? So, the timing of these news items and when they break, it's not by happenstance. It's coordinated, right? You want to launch when people are bullish about NFTs and crypto, not when they're scared. I think that's marketing business 101, right? You got to read the room. So this is just a signal of potentially what may be coming in the next few months. An Amazon spokesperson declined to comment. 2 sources said a launch would come by this May at least. One mechanism Amazon is considering for spreading the word about its digital collectibles push is sending out an email blast to every US-based Prime subscriber, one source said. An additional 2 sources said the company is planning to notify its Prime customers in some capacity either before or when the product goes live. Here's a quote. They can onboard millions of users without educating people about self-custody, without educating people how to set up a MetaMask wallet. One source said, likening Amazon's move to Starbucks' loyalty program with Polygon. Now, you all know I'm very bullish on Polygon and Matic. Amazon currently has approximately 167 million Prime members in the USA. And guys, I'm one of them. I use Prime. It's great. And if Amazon they roll this out and it has some cool features. I'll be, certainly reporting that to you guys. But this is exciting. This is bullish. I am so bullish on this asset class and technology long term. In the short term, we're facing some headwinds with the SEC and, the Operation Choke Point 2.0. But as we've talked about ad nauseum, they cannot stop the disruption. The horse and buggy people weren't fans of the automobiles. They try to stop it. The candle makers didn't like electricity and the light bulb. They try to stop it, so on and so forth. We've seen it throughout history. They're not going to stop this tech. The back-end blockchain technology isn't clear, and the company appears to have considered a number of options for integration since it began working on the ambitious initiative. So a couple things here, guys, because if we go back just maybe a few months ago, Amazon Web Services, they partner with Avalanche. So AVAX, the native token of Avalanche. So could it be Avalanche? Possibly. But Amazon has for years promoted Hyperledger Fabric and Ethereum on their managed blockchain solutions page, right? I've shared this page going back to, I think, 2019, 2018. And they have a full page dedicated to Ethereum, talking about the merge and all the stuff of benefits of building on Ethereum. So it's going to be very interesting to see which platform they use, or which blockchain, I should say. Maybe they go with Polygon. I don't know, because Polygon seems to be getting some big time partnerships, like the one with Starbucks. Their business development team, my goodness, they're working overtime, doing a great job. So this is what I'm talking about, when I say they don't have to necessarily use the token, right? I think folks get caught up with, are they actually using the token? That's not the point. The point is, if they're building on the blockchain, Metcalfe's law, network effect, the value of that blockchain will increase, and that value will trickle to the native token, right? Because the native token greases the blockchain, allows it to function and to move value on the blockchain. So it doesn't matter if they're definitively using the token. What matters is that they're building on the blockchain, and they're adding more transactions and usability and use cases and so on and so forth. That will grow the value of that said blockchain and native token. So very bullish, news here, my friends. And there's also another item here that they highlighted, is that they want to possibly create a private blockchain and a native token. So two things could be true. They could use like a public blockchain like Ethereum or Polygon or whatever it is, or Avalanche, to do the NFT part of things, and then have their private blockchain for said token. So let me give you the details here. Amazon's intention is to create some type of private blockchain, multiple sources said, adding that it's not clear whether that could come about via fork of an existing protocol. Several sources said it is also not definitive to their knowledge as of publication whether an Amazon token would be part of the deal, with one of them dubbing the setup as a very walled garden. So of course, if they keep it, if they create a private blockchain, it's kind of like JPM coin, JP Morgan's stable coin, right? They could do that, but it'll be a walled garden, right? It wouldn't have secondary market value or no public open market value. But we don't know what they're going to do. But like I said, they could do multiple things because they partner with Avalanche. So they could have the NFTs tied to the goods on a public blockchain, and then for their token, a private blockchain. But who knows? We will have to see. Nevertheless, my friends, adoption of this technology, building by one of the largest tech companies out there. This is really, really bullish news. I hope you guys see what is happening here and how Amazon is approaching this, and with the partnerships that I mentioned with Avalanche, and they're integrating Ethereum and much more. All right, let's move ahead. We got some big news about Bitcoin mining in the United States. So America's first nuclear-powered Bitcoin mining farm goes online in Pennsylvania. My friends, if you hate Bitcoin or you love Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. Here are the facts. Here's the reality. Bitcoin mining is booming in the United States. United States is leading the world in Bitcoin mining. And this comes, of course, last year, after last year's ban by China, and things are, progressing. Well, actually, was it last year or the year before? I'm sorry, the year before China banned Bitcoin. The miners spread out throughout the world. Many of them came to the United States, and the United States is leading. So I hope you see whole dynamic, the macro geopolitical battle for control of crypto here. And, CBDCs are another layer here. So this tech is being adopted by some of the biggest companies out there in the world. And that's why I don't pay attention to people who are spreading FUD like Elizabeth Warren and all these other people who are naysayers, right? You're always going to have the naysayers. Some of them, they use the contrarian view to build their own clout, and there's value in that, right? You look at politics or whatever it may be. If you just be a contrarian, you can build an audience and a following, and so on and so forth. So this is very big news and bullish, in my opinion. The United States has not banned Bitcoin. They're allowing it despite all the ESG energy concern stuff. It's still happening in the United States. Now, speaking of Bitcoin mining, and this information, by the way, needs to be fully verified, but the SEC has filed a case against a company in federal court in Utah, saying that some of the mining machines at issue are Bitcoin antminers, saying that well, let me read through the details here for you guys. The case was filed in federal court in Utah. Some of the mining machines at issue are Bitcoin antminers. To my knowledge, the SEC has never issued guidance formally or informally that even hinted that selling mining equipment could be an unregistered securities offering. Many public companies doing business in the US are selling mining equipment and offering hosting services right now, and they have been in business for years with no apparent complaint from the SEC. The SEC's attempt to extend its jurisdiction to sales of mining equipment with no prior warning is just the latest in a growing line of cases where the SEC is attempting to stretch beyond its statutory authority. The overreach is accelerating. Congress needs to act. So they're going after, companies that are now hosting and have mining equipment. And this is what we've been talking about, guys. Gary Gensler is trying to put everything under the securities umbrella: stablecoins, NFTs, staking, Bitcoin mining. If he can get everything under there, that will be his wet dream, right? This is why we need Congress to act. He has to be stopped. It's draconian. It's just massive overreach by the SEC, and it's crazy what's happening. But I do want to make sure, though, this is not fully verified. There are some people saying, hey, this is not so much really an attack on Bitcoin mining as it is the company didn't do what it promised. So the company's name is Green United LLC. And from Bloomberg's report, it says the cryptocurrency mining equipment and software didn't actually mine digital tokens as promised to investors who entrusted $18 million to the company, the SEC says in a new suit. Green United eventually purchased unmined tokens and distributed them to investors' accounts to create the appearance of a successful mining operation, the SEC said. So we still need to get the details ironed out here. But my friends, regardless of if, this is not as, on its face as what we're talking about, you think the SEC wouldn't do what what we think they would do with Bitcoin miners and hosting and those who sell the hosting to other companies, right? They would. Gary is going after everything, and we'll see what happens because he's at it working on this stuff, right? Now, the Voyager situation, the Voyager bankruptcy situation where Binance US is trying to acquire Voyager through bankruptcy proceedings, which would help investors who lost access to their funds. The SEC officials in that case are showing what clowns they are and how they don't care about investors, because even the judge in that situation is slamming the SEC. Here are some notes. Judge slamming the SEC again. Here's a quote: "We can start the litigation today so that you have to prove your agency's position. Are you seriously telling me that you haven't provided any clarity and want me to deny this plan because it might be something you think is something?" You see here, guys, logic and common sense. The judge is like, what the hell is going on with you guys? So judge says nobody has come forward with evidence to litigate whether or not anything in the current plan is actually illegal. For anybody to suggest what I order by law to carry out be denied without evidence is not going to happen. But this is the SEC. Shady. They are rotten at their core. They're falling far from their core values, guys. This is why Gary Gensler is running around doing what he wants, and he's going unchecked. And I'm hoping the House GOP, those folks, they start bringing him in and holding him accountable, because there's reports here that the SEC is actually increasing their staff to investigate and persecute crypto firms. So this thing is just getting started, my friends. Now, in the SEC Ripple lawsuit, there's an update here. James K. Filan tweeted out, breaking: Judge Torres issues ruling on parties' motions to preclude expert testimony. So Fred Rispoli, who's also an attorney, he said, very, very hot take. This is much worse for the SEC than Ripple, but Ripple did take a few losses here. So it's like a long list of stuff here. Once again, the SEC taking more of the hits, but we're going to wait for some of these different attorneys to weigh in and give an interpretation here. One user said, so they're disallowing evidence from every important SEC expert. So that's kind of the gist of it, but I think the Ripple did take a hit too, but more so on the SEC side. So I'm hoping for some sort of resolution, guys, this month, and that the SEC takes a big fat L. The industry needs it. Altcoins, the market needs it. I'm also hoping Grayscale gives the SEC a big fat L as well. They are suing the SEC over the denial of a Bitcoin spot ETF. And they actually tweeted out today, reminder, oral arguments in our lawsuit challenging the SEC's decision to deny our application to convert GBTC to spot Bitcoin ETF are scheduled for the morning of March 7th. So it's tomorrow. Exact timing may vary, but it could begin as early as 10 a.m. ET, and they provided a YouTube link. So, you can, I guess, stream it or watch it or get an update. But we need Ripple, and I would love for Grayscale to get a victory as well. I think we need to hand the SEC a lot of losses here, right? And a lot of defeats. Now, let's move ahead. This is an interesting one. I don't know what to make of it. Alameda Research. Yes, that Alameda Research, Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried, is suing Grayscale, Digital Currency Group, and CEO Barry Silbert. My initial thoughts was, how the hell is Alameda still around, right? After all the nonsense they did with FTX and taking users' funds and essentially gambling with it. So Alameda claims Grayscale's fee structure and lack of redemption options has lowered the value of Alameda's share by 90%. I don't think that's what has lowered Alameda's shares. I think it's the outright fraud and criminal activity they did. Pretty crazy, right? What's happening here? So FTX debtor Alameda Research is suing Grayscale, Digital Currency Group, and CEO Barry Silbert in an effort to recover share value. Alameda claims Grayscale's fee structure and failure to allow investors to redeem shares in its trust products has lowered the value of Alameda's shares by 90%, the company said in a statement Monday. The lawsuit was filed in the Court of Chancery in Delaware, a non-jury trial court that primarily deals with trust and property litigation. Here's a quote: the FTX debtors are seeking injunctive relief to unlock $9 billion or more in value for shareholders of the Grayscale Bitcoin and Ethereum Trust and realize over $250 million in asset value of the FTX debtors, customers, and creditors, Alameda wrote in the statement. We'll see where this goes. This is, kind of crazy, and how the FTX contagion is spreading throughout the crypto industry. One would think that maybe last year was the worst of it, but it looks like there's going to be more lawsuits and all kinds of things going around here. Finally, Brazil's central bank launches experimental CBDC. Folks, the token economy is coming. Every government will have a tokenized version of their respective fiat currency. And my concern, as always, is the privacy, at least here in the United States. Will the government use some sort of social credit system, right, where they can even put an expiration date on the CBDC? You have to spend it by a certain time. I don't want to live in a world with that, my friends, and I don't want everything I am buying and doing being viewed by the government, that data collected. I hope the United States gets it right, but this is inevitable. It's coming. And we do have to fight to at least get our rights protected here, but we'll see what happens. But at least we have alternatives like Bitcoin and other digital assets and crypto. All right, my friends, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I'll talk to you all later.